Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of Europe, there are anniversaries we wish we never had to celebrate, and the 24th of February is certainly one of them. But since we are commemorating this sad date, it is up to us to give it a positive and constructive meaning in our European history. First, the fact that we are all together as friends of Europe and staunch supporters of Ukraine, now full candidate country of the European Union, well engaged in the process of reforms, while Ukrainian soldiers are still combating the Russian army on the battlefield, fighting for freedom, democracy, and our shared European values, is an amazing achievement by itself. Everyone still has in mind the horror that this war unleashed by Russia, defying UN principles and sowing violence and human suffering. And everyone is still impressed by the extraordinary resilience of the Ukrainian people. To this unjustified war of aggression, Belgium and the European Union have responded swiftly. We have stood by the Ukrainian people since day one. While the Russian president thought he could divide us, we have shown unprecedented unity and determination. Our resolve was again displayed last week when the European Council adopted the Ukraine facility, 50 billion euros of support for Ukraine's recovery, reconstruction and modernization. It is a substantial package, an important package, and it will not be the last. Dear friends of Europe, what is at stake in Ukraine goes far beyond its borders. It's not just an attack against Ukrainians, it's also a direct assault on everything we stand for. And that is precisely what we must continue to support Ukraine politically, economically, and of course, militarily. We must do so for the Ukrainians, but also for us. Our support for Ukraine is rooted in our commitment to democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Assisting Ukraine not only helps to protect these values, but also sends a strong message against authoritarianism and political repression. We should never forget that the situation in Ukraine is directly tied to our European security. Failing to stand firm against Putin's ambitions would undermine the credibility of our deterrence mechanisms and could embolden further aggression, threatening not just Ukraine, but the stability of Europe and the security of the transatlantic community. That's why our resolve in supporting Ukraine must remain unwavering. The failure to do so would set a dangerous precedent, signaling that aggression and territorial expansion are rewarding strategies. So once again, thank you for this valuable initiative, and thank you for putting a human face to the brave Ukrainians. Often, perhaps too often, we approach war as a matter of strategy, numbers, battle maps, but we must not forget that it is, in the first place, a human tragedy. When I visited Ukraine for the first time since the war started, I stood in Bucha at the edge of a mass grave where 73 innocent Ukrainians had been slaughtered and dumped by Russian soldiers. Today, I think of them, of their families and friends. We can pay them no greater respect than to continue standing by Ukraine and defending our democratic values. I thank you very much.